Well, I think we're ready to get started for the deep dive this morning. I want to say welcome to everybody joining from across the country this morning on the deep dive. We're back here in the office. We were out last week at the Tom Ferry event. So great to see so many people from across the country last week. And, you know, if you're going to be out at an event, we're going to be out at more as the year goes on. I got the Jared James Advance coming up, many others. So say hello if you're out there. So many people start their week on the deep dive where we talk about, you know, the most important topics in real estate. And, you know, we're going to talk about one that's very important this week in affordability. You know, as prices have risen and interest rates have risen, it's become less affordable to buy a home. And so I'm going to give you the information you need in that topic to be able to share that with those that you're working with and just understand and bring perspective to it. What does that mean? And then how do we go out and be the knowledge broker with all this information? You know, as we start this deep dive, I want to kind of position it in, you know, where we're at. I'll explain some things. I'll walk through affordability, give you some charts and graphs, and give you a couple of things that you can do right now with those that you're working with to sort of combat affordability. So as we hop in, that'll be what we do today and sort of tackle this topic. I recorded a video earlier today and said this is the biggest topic I believe that's out there right now in real estate, and one that we need to be very well versed on. Let's go ahead and hop in. Let's talk about affordability. Now, I want to break down a couple of different graphics and give you this, you know, affordability has certainly shifted over the last several months as interest rates have risen. So let me go ahead and share my screen and give you what you need to know on this topic. So this is a look at affordability right now, and it's at a historically low level. Now, if you look at this is affordability going all the way back to the 90s. And before, you know, if you followed the deep dive or you followed KCM, you know, we've talked about, you know, affordability being high, and now we've seen this shift, affordability being lower than where it has been going all the way back to the 90s. So what does this mean? Let me break this down just a little bit. You know, the thing that always stands out in this graphic are the blue bars there, the years when distressed properties dominated the market post 2008. You know, we saw very good affordability. And at the height, I made that note on the slide there. 197 was the affordability reading at that time in 2012, maybe the height of affordability in the housing market. And today, that number sits at 98.5. Now, here's what I want to sort of give you perspective on. This graphic, and if you look at affordability, I've got the dark line there in the middle that is at 100. So 100 on the affordability index means the average wage earner, the average person in this country can afford the average priced home, 100% of the mortgage payment, right? It's at even. We've seen some very good affordability over the last couple of years as interest rates have fallen. Now they're coming back up, and that's eating into affordability. Affordability is based on three things: prices, interest rates, and wages. So I'll break that down in just a minute, but right now we sit at 98.5. So if you think about that, the average earner in this country can afford 98.5% of the average mortgage payment. So homes are unaffordable, you can say that, but that gives you the perspective, not this Armageddon apocalyptic scenario right now, but certainly a scenario where on average it's below what the average earner can afford, you know, 100%, not tremendously out of whack there, and, you know, coming off some of these higher affordability numbers that we've seen. Now, how do you give great advice during this time? You know, there've been a lot of people that speculate on what's to come in real estate. And Tamara, the article that you sent me, you know, what's going to happen in real estate? Well, if you take the three things that affordability is based upon, I mentioned wages, interest rates, and prices. What do you believe about those three things? What do you believe about interest rates? What do you believe about prices? What do you believe about wages in this country? And you can give expert advice on that. Now, you know, if we start to look at other pieces here in affordability, the average mortgage payment has risen compared to 1 year ago. The monthly mortgage payment rose to $1,944 from $1,265, an increase of 53.7%. So mortgage payments rising as well. If you look at this graphically, this is what this looks like right here. Going back to June of last year, June of this year, you see that considerable climb, and that's folks going out and buying homes and literally spending more money to go out and buy a home. And I think there's a lot in that over the last couple of years and even the last several months, people are saying, it's important to us to go out and buy. It's important to what we need. And we're seeing that average mortgage payment rise. If we look at another metric here that gives you perspective on affordability, mortgage payment to income ratio right now sits at 25.4%. If you think about 25% of someone's income being dedicated to a mortgage payment, that's where that sits. This graphic here assumes a 30-year fixed mortgage with 20% down on a median priced home and median income. Okay, so the average, I'm going to call that the average earner, the average priced home, 25.4% today. So certainly seeing indications there and further indications homes are less affordable or even unaffordable in a lot of places. If you break this down across the country, this is what this looks like from the Northeast to Midwest, South, and West. The median family income versus a qualifying income. Now out West, you see the qualifying income, $141,000, where the median income is $98,000. I'll put my cursor sort of over that if I can find my cursor here, right there. So a big gap. But if you look nationally, median income, $91,952, median qualifying income, $93,312. So a gap there, no doubt. So what do? Let's spend a little bit of our time. How do you ultimately give advice given all of this information? I think, first of all, staying up to date on what's happening with affordability, what's happening with interest rates, what's happening with prices. We're certainly looking at employment as well. One of the things I talked about last week. So you want to stay on top of that, number one. But here are three kind of practical things you can employ and have conversations around as you make a video on this. You get the information out there. You start talking more about this because this isn't a topic that we should shy away from. And we've always said, good agents can deliver good news. Great agents can deliver bad news, and a lot of times perspective on this is going to help. So what can you do? First of all, first thing I'm going to suggest is expanding your search area and criteria. So somebody that's looking for a home right now may not be able to buy in the area. Maybe look a little bit further out or a little bit further from the downtown area or the city area that they're looking at, and can see something that's a little bit more affordable. The second thing you can do and start to look at is exploring alternative finance options. We're seeing more financing through adjustable rate mortgages. We're seeing more financing in areas that people say, okay, there's a way to structure this debt that's advantageous given the rising interest rate environment. Now, I'm certainly not saying that I believe somebody should buy something with the hopes of refinancing it. And buy something they can't afford. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is there are loan products, and having a great partner that is a lender right now is critically important to help those that you're working with structure the financing for the home they want to buy. So that's the second thing. The third thing is to start to look for grants, gift funds, things like that. Going to downpaymentresource.com, a phenomenal resource that you can go say, okay, by county, by the area that I live in, what are the resources that are available to those that I'm working with? Is there an opportunity for a grant? Is there an opportunity for this particular buyer to leverage some gift funds or leverage something like that to go out and buy a home? So I think there are options. There are things that we can engage people on given the scenario that we're seeing right now with affordability. So I want to give you a few of those as we go back and look at that. But this is a topic that we need to be out there talking about. There's certainly It is being talked about in the media, and we need to be able to bring the truth right now. Before I turn it over to questions, I'll ask Jess if we have any questions out there. Ali Wolf from Zonda said this. It's a great quote, I think sums up the market we're in. We're in a place where strategy discussions and planning are critically important to make sure we can thrive during these challenging times. Stay nimble, stay informed, and remember, housing is traditionally one of the first sectors to slow as the economy shifts, but also one of the first to rebound. So great perspective there from Ali Wolf at Zonda as we look at this market, the shifting market continuing and being connected, being here on the deep dive, being a KCM member, having access to the information that allows you to give expert advice is critical in this market. I'll leave you with this before I turn it over to questions. If you need help in making video, we've got an e-guide here, the Agent's Guide to Video for Real Estate. And you want to grab that, you can go to trykcm.com/video guide and get all that information, because I think getting the message out over video is what we have to do right now. So I'm going to pause here for just a second. Jess, do we have any questions that people have brought up?
Hi, Dave. I actually don't see any questions today. Lots of folks who I guess got to meet you at the summit that are super excited, though.
It was great to see everybody at the summit. So grateful for everybody that came up and said hello. We've got events coming up this year, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see you if we didn't see you there. But it was great to see everybody and get to spend just a few minutes together. So we'll have those slides coming out. If folks want those, they'll be on the KCM member site. Even if you weren't there, you can grab those slides. Really good information on prices. We talked about crash. We talked about should I buy a home right now. So we will wrap on that. Affordability is a topic that we're going to stay on top of so that you have everything you need to know to be the knowledge broker to the clients you serve. So have a great day. Have a great week. And we'll see you back next week on the Deep Dive. Take care.